As one senator, I thank the majority leader for his comments and the Republican leader for his comments. I believe we all know what we need to do here. We have two objectives. At a time when we're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar we spend, we need to reduce the debt. And two, we need to honor our obligations. We know why we need to do it. There's no one on the Republican side of the aisle that I know that thinks that we shouldn't honor our obligations. We know that on August the 3rd that there'll be not enough money to pay all the bills. We don't want the most credit-worthy nation in the world to go to a place where it begins to pay its bills selectively out of a cigar box, which is why, Mr. President, I'm hopeful, I believe all of us are hopeful, that we can find a way for the majority leader and the Republican leader to recommend to us and the House and a solution that the President will sign that will reduce our debt and honor our obligations. But to suggest that the majority leader's proposal, his bill, which he offers in good faith, I know, is a compromise, is a little hard to accept. I mean, it's a Democratic proposal. The other side has spent most of its time this week saying, can we get 53 of us to make sure that as soon as the Republican proposal passes the House, if it does, we'll beat it in an hour. We won't even consider it. We'll kill it. We're not going to vote on it. We'll table it and we'll put it away. That's not the spirit of compromise. The proposal that the Speaker is trying to pass may be about the only thing he can pass in the House of Representatives. And that might not be what a Democratic Senate would like, but you know, this is a Democratic Senate, that's a Republican House. We have to come up with something that both can pass and the President will sign. We all know that. So I hope that the spirit of today and of tomorrow and of Sunday is that we spend less time plotting about how we can defeat each other's proposals as quickly as possible and more time working together to come up with ways to reduce spending and honor our obligations. The Democratic whip is on the floor. I've probably undermined his support in some groups by complimenting him for his courage, but I support the same thing he does, for example. The work in the Gang of 16 is supported by 1/3 of the Senate, a very good example for the rest of us in the Senate about what can be accomplished when we work together. So I hope that we'll recognize that the Speaker is trying just as hard as the majority leader to come up with something that can pass the House. The majority leader wants something that can pass the Senate. It must pass both. It must be signed by the President. We must reduce our spending, and we must honor our obligations. And every single Republican senator, as well as every Democrat, I believe, knows that. I thank the President. I yield the floor.
Under the previous order, the leadership time is reserved, and under the previous order,